The conflicts concerning the Lord's Resistance Army date back to the 1980s and remains today. The LRA's history, however, is not thoroughly conveyed in the mainstream today, but this video will include it. As a result of the Holy Spirit movement, priest Alice Auma helped form the LRA in 1988 to escape the Ocholi culture in northern Uganda, and she passed the power to her distant relative and cousin, Joseph Kony. The numbers in the LRA grew since the civilians were forced to either join or have their body parts gruesomely dismantled. The Ugandan government used no enforcement toward halting Kony and the LRA and took 10 years to finally take action. But by that time, Kony had already spread into southern Sudan, the Central African Republic, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. So far, over 2 million people have been displaced and over 300,000 children have been abducted. The boys become LRA members and the girls become sex slaves. It wasn't until the 21st century when the United States of America became a factor in the conflict. Both the government and the citizens have responded, but have also taken backlash from their choices. Since the Bush administration, there has been non-lethal support toward attempting to stop the LRA. The U.S. has given trucks, aircrafts, fuel, and several other useful resources to help the Ugandan military force. A big event in that time period was Operation Lightning Thunder, which was a strong attempt to help stop the LRA and Joseph Kony. The support toward Uganda grew even more in the Obama administration, when in 2009 he sent troops into Uganda to help out.
In his letter, the president was quick to point out that the American forces would not be there in a combat role. He wrote, "Although the U.S. forces are combat equipped, they will only be providing information, advice, and assistance to partner nation forces, and they will not themselves engage LRA forces unless necessary for self-defense." The U.S. president's decision commits U.S. troops to help battle a Ugandan rebel group he once condemned as an affront to human dignity.
In 2009, Barack Obama signed the Lord's Resistance Army Disarmament and Northern Uganda Recovery Act to send 100 troops into northern Uganda. Additionally, it required him to spend $10 million yearly on anti-LRA campaigns. This act serves as a victory for Democrats, Republicans, humanitarians, and human rights groups. And since this time, a movement has grown outside of the U.S. government and into the U.S. citizens. In 2005, the Invisible Children nonprofit charity was made to create awareness for the conflict in Uganda, stop Kony and the LRA, and recover the ravaged parts of Central Africa. One achievement that the Invisible Children did was influencing President Obama to send in 100 troops. 7 years later, on March 5, 2012, co-founder Jason Russell created a 30-minute video on YouTube titled Kony 2012.
He's the worst criminal in the world.
Abducts and kills and burns and rapes women and girls.
This makes him, I think, one of the most dangerous people in the world.
Have to make it the biggest story in the world.
In less than a week, the video reached 70 million views, and Facebook statuses and hashtags on Twitter emerged among the American youth. The last achievement happened on April 20th, 2012, when the U.S. youth covered the night when they sent posters all over the major cities.
You're my devil, you're my angel, you're my heaven, you're my...
But of course, when so many Americans are involved and the video becomes that viral, it is vulnerable to criticism. The Kony 2012 video has altered the American perception on many levels. The youth have grown to think that sharing a link on YouTube or showing support on a social network would be direct help towards stopping the LRA. Also, the video has not granted U.S. citizens with information on how the world works. It makes it seem as if the U.S. is incapable of performing strong military action. And this is not true considering the US has had a long history of controlling warfare and international intelligence. And again, let's remember that the history of the Ugandan conflict currently is not universal, since the video does not bring that up. But even if no political action is shown in the recent news, the Kony 2012 movement will forever be a symbol for what the American government and its citizens value and desire.